Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben and I'm joined by Mike, and in a slight change to the usual... Put your phone on silent. That's like a beer you owe us already. That's 2 beers you owe us already.
10 seconds in.
Yeah, literally 19 seconds in and you owe us 2 beers. He'll be back in a moment. My housemate Shawn is stepping in as Gaz is unavailable this week. He's never podcasted before, so he's popping his cherry.
Hello.
So yes, today is going to be an Anthology of the Strange, Volume 2. Basically all the stuff that we don't think we could probably get an episode out of, but it's still pretty interesting to listen to. You want to say hello to thank you to some returning listeners, Mike?
Yeah, we can do.
Please
What have we
do.
got? Moscow.
Moscow?
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Edmonton, Canada. Los Angeles, California. Petricani, Romania. Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah.
Slough, UK.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Dublin, Ireland. Chicago, Illinois. Arlington, Texas. Austin, Texas. Vienna, Austria. And the top 3, Telford, Little Rock, Arkansas. And Westerville, Ohio.
Hey, Little Rock's back, and top one's a new one, is it? Westerville, Ohio? I haven't had that
I think
before.
so. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening. Welcome to our journey into madness. So, shall I go first, Mike?
Go for it, man.
All right. The demonic horrors of Husker Castle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It is in the Czech Republic. It was built, it's a haunted fortress built to contain a gateway to hell.
A bit like Hull.
Yeah. What is it with you and Hull? Well, there is that dog man of Hull.
There is that.
Yeah.
And it's a shithole.
A dog man of Hull.
Yeah.
It's a werewolf.
Oh, okay.
And apparently someone saw it eating an Alsatian in a ditch.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're looking for a one-way trip to the underworld, there's no shortage of alleged gateways to hell hidden all over the world. Kansas has the infamous Stull Cemetery. Greece has the Cape Matapan Caves. And Indiana had the Demon House until apparently that got torn down by some guy called Zach Bagan in Ghost Adventures. I've never seen Ghost Adventures.
No.
Pretty metal though. Demon House.
Demon House does sound pretty metal, yeah.
Welcome to the Demon House.
Come on in. Oh man, if the dude who answered the door wasn't red with horns, I'd be seriously pissed.
Cloven hooved.
Cloven hooved, obviously. I'd like actually to make him look like the Ned Flanders devil. You know when Ned's the devil in
yeah.
Yeah. In one of the Treehouse of Horrors. It's interesting that the Greeks have got a gateway to hell, considering they only became Christians a couple of thousand years ago.
Huh.
Surely that should be a gateway to Hades.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. There's Husker Castle, a 762-year-old Gothic castle that was built to seal shut what locals believe is the real-life entrance to the underworld. Constructed between 1253 and 1278 in the Czech countryside, the location of the massive mansion was specifically chosen in order to seal up a mysterious bottomless pit where demonic creatures would enter our world after the sun went down.
I was going to say, how much is it for a day trip there, but if it's a bottomless pit, then forget it.
Nah, you don't want to go down a bottomless pit.
How'd you go about sealing that up then if it's bottomless?
That's why you just build a castle over the top, which is what they've done in this scenario.
Wouldn't it just fall into the bottomless pit though?
Well, you build it around the bottomless pit, put a roof on it. Think of it like the Ghostbusters firehouse.
Yeah, but all you've done now is give the demons shelter when they appear from the pit.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can't get out.
They can't get out of a house.
They can't get out this castle.
It's a demon castle.
Yeah.
You just literally climb up and then move in.
They've got these demons sitting around swilling brandy by a fire. Like, nice of these humans to build us a castle. What ho?
Never left us the bloody key to open the door, though.
Don't open the door. The last pizza guy that went there, didn't go well for him. Terrifying stories about the pit and the monsters that would claw their way out of it at night. Black-winged creatures that were half human, half animal spread far and wide. Villagers were terrified to be out of their homes at night, and many of them would never venture anywhere close to the hole, even during the brightest daylight hours. Well, that's understandable. I never tend to venture close to a hole in the daylight hours. Before construction of the Hellmouth, that's metal, fortress began, all of the village's prisoners who'd been sentenced to death were marched to the edge of the bottomless pit and condemned to a particularly sinister fate. They were tossed in and not tossed off. Although I would have been like, look, if you're going to throw me down this pit, the least you can do is give me a hand job.
I mean, is that any criminal, or is that like some guy just saw a loaf of bread and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I only stole some bread. Not an eternity of demons.
Well, unless stealing a loaf of bread is a death penalty in the Czech Republic in the 1200s, then no. If it is, he's fucked.
It probably was, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any prisoners who managed to make their way back from the pit alive were forgiven for their transgressions and set free. Well, that's a bonus.
How did they manage that? Atop riding a demon flying at the pit. Hey, I'm back.
Pissed as fuck.
Yeah.
Swigging from a flagon of ale.
Wouldn't they have just been falling forever if it was bottomless? How would they make their way back up?
Climb.
Climb.
Maybe they hit a rock on the way down and get back out again. I don't know, do you? The very first man who was tied up and lowered into the pit began screaming in terror the moment he passed out of eyesight. When the frightened villagers hoisted him out of the darkness, they were horrified to what they saw. The prisoner, who had been a young man only minutes before, had aged more than 30 years while he was in the pit and now had a full head of white hair. So there's obviously a hairdresser's down there too.
You still have hair.
That's true.
Could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be quite chuffed if I came back up out of the pit with a head of white hair. He's like, oh, do you have hair again?
Yeah, but you got to age 30 years. You'll be 65, 67.
Well, you know.
You got to
older than that.
You got to take the rough with the smooth.
It's all worth it for the hair, Mike.
Not if your balls are hanging by your knees by this point.
Well, they're already doing that now. I'm 37. They used to be porn star balls, and now they're just sacks.
You won't make it as a sailor.
Oh, no. No, I won't. So, as frightening reports of the demonic creatures attacking locals and dragging them into the bottomless pit began to grow in frequency, the villagers knew something needed to be done. Construction on the massive castle began with the hopes of sealing the gateway to hell for good. This sounds to me like Castlevania.
It does, yeah.
You know, like demons coming out of a castle, dragging people off, killing them, eating them.
Yeah, it ain't good.
It's not good. It's not the way I want to spend an evening.
Depends if you get to meet Dracula.
Ooh. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
He was all right in Castlevania. He seemed like a nice chap until they killed his wife.
Yeah, then he went,
spoilers.
He went a little crazy then.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So,
depends what's on the menu, though, doesn't it?
It does.
As long as you're not on the menu, I don't mind.
Depends if they're going to half turn you. Or turn you completely. Make you some kind of vampire lord.
Some kind of vampire sex slave.
Yeah. Okay, well, either way, on the bottom rung of the ladder of immortality is still not bad.
True.
Once construction had been completed, from the outside, Husker Castle appeared to be just that, a run-of-the-mill fortress. But those who got close to the castle could notice there was something strange about the structure. The visage of the building appears to have many windows, but on further inspection, most of them are fake and sturdy walls have been built behind the glass panes. As if the faux windows weren't strange enough, the castle was also built without fortifications, has no water source, was situated near no trading routes, and for years after it was completed, had no occupants.
I'm not surprised. Got a bottomless pit in the middle of it. Get pissed one night and stumbling that, you're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, I had one too many last night and then fell down the pit. Really should have put a cover over that. Like, oh, you're there, you've moved in with your family, your little toddlers playing around in the garden. Next thing you know, down the pit. Oh, man. Like Eric Clapton.
They always make more.
Well, there is that. Do you know, I might be fond of that one. Another clue to the true purpose of the castle can be found in the faded frescoes on the walls of the chapel, some of which were discovered to be the oldest in Europe. Dragons being fought by St. Michael, scenes of the crucifixion, and a beautiful portrait of St. Christopher. What's strangest is the painting of a left-handed, half-horse creature aiming a bow at a human.
Okay, a bit weird now.
Yeah, references to pagan mythology were not something found on church walls in this part of the country. And the left hand was associated with service to Satan, which has led many researchers to believe the centaur is a hint at the evil creatures that lurk beneath the church. Yeah, the left hand, always considered evil. Do you know what the Latin for left-handed is?
I don't.
Sinister.
I feel like you're just taking a jab at me now.
Yeah, Shawn's left-handed, so... But yeah, just pointing it out that people have distrusted left-handed weirdos for many years.
Distrusted as well, man.
Ooh. So even after the bottomless pit had been sealed, strange tales continued to cling to the castle over the years. Those who listened carefully to the lower floors at night could hear the scratching of the winged creatures trying to claw their way to the surface. Phantoms were seen walking the empty halls of the castle, and no story is complete without mention of the Nazis, who used the fortress as a secret headquarters.
Of course they did.
To harness the powers of hell for themselves. Oh, what do you reckon?
Load of bollocks I'll probably go for.
Well, caretakers of the building have witnessed a headless spirit that stumbles through the courtyard with streams of blood gushing from his decapitated body, whose identity they've never managed to uncover. The current owner of the building, Jaromir Simonek, claims to have watched his drinking glass levitate off a table where he and his friends had gathered one evening, only for it to calmly lower itself and slide to the table's centre. One of the most evil presences is regularly encountered in the hunting lodge. One evening, two guests were winding down the room when they heard a loud thump on the floor next to them. When they turned to look at the source of the noise, they were frozen in fear as two featureless humanoid shadow figures approached her and whispered about having killed young girls. I had nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. Wasn't me. Never been to the Czech Republic. I thought that was quite an interesting tale.
A tale it certainly is. Bedtime stories.
Yeah, well, that's what my kids will be being told. Don't go to this castle, kids. It's a gateway to hell. Do you want to hit us with yours, Mike?
Okay. First up, the dancing plague of 1518.
I've heard of this. No one knows why this happened, but isn't there a disease called St. Vitus's dance or something like that?
I'm not sure. Might tell us in this.
Right.
Make you dance.
Yeah, it makes you dance until you're so exhausted you die.
That's the worst ways of going.
Depends if you like dancing or not, and what music's playing.
That's true.
Well, this was an event in which hundreds of citizens of Strasbourg danced uncontrollably and apparently unwillingly for days on end. The mania lasted for about 2 months before ending as mysteriously as it began.
Not Strasbourg, first of all. Not Strasbourg. And secondly, maybe there was just a really fucking good band on.
It's great if you can't afford to get in the strip club, though.
That's true. All right then, Mike. Sorry, mate. Go on.
In July 1518, a woman whose name was given as Frau Trophea stepped into the street and began dancing. She seemed unable to stop, and she kept dancing until she collapsed from exhaustion. After resting, she resumed the compulsive, frenzied activity. She continued this way for days, and within a week, more than 30 other people were similarly afflicted. They kept going long past the point of injury. City authorities were alarmed by the ever-increasing number of dancers. The civic and religious leaders theorized that more dancing was a solution. In typical medieval fashion,
Like dancing with dancing.
Yeah. Satan's making a dance. We need to dance for the Lord.
The Cure was a dance-off.
How was it? They were having a dance-off, wasn't it? Yeah. And that is, without a doubt, still one of the worst attempts at a solution I've ever heard. But
Yeah, funny enough, this only exacerbated the contagion. And by this point, as many as 400 people were consumed by the dancing compulsion.
well, when you got to dance, Mike, you just got to dance. Sometimes that rhythm just takes over your body.
At that point, you'd wonder if you caught the disease or you're just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Everyone else is dancing, maybe I should dance too.
That is a phenomenon, that is.
Yeah.
There's a video going on YouTube and there's some, like a dance festival, there's like a load of people sitting about. And this one guy gets up and just starts dancing on his own. And within like 5 minutes, it's like a massive, like, fucking rave thing going on. Just in the middle of this field. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't want to be left out,
No, that's it.
so you'll just dance to death to keep up with everyone else.
She's just coming out and going,
Yeah.
oh, the Mamba rhythm has overtaken me, and starts dancing. And everyone else is like, well, I'm not being left out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shit though. It's like the lead man's like Michael Flatley going for fucking days.
I don't think it lasts a couple of minutes in that scenario.
You don't want to stop either because you don't want to look weak, so you got to keep going.
That's it.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
So it lasts a couple of minutes is usually the name of my sex tape. Peer pressure, yeah. I'm sure there's a disease called St. Vitus's dance, because when I was like a kid and a bit hyperactive, my mother would say, calm down, have you got St. Vitus's dance or something?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah. Maybe it's a Dawley thing.
Contemporary explanations for the dancing plague included demonic possession and overheated blood.
Well, demonic possession and overheated blood. All right, cool. It's just the demon of dance. It's the mask.
Yeah.
Could be Loki.
What was his name? What was the
Loki.
Cuban guy's name? The Cuban dancer in the mask.
Samba Pete.
That's it.
Samba Pete feeling the rhythm of the mambo beat. Something like that.
Something like that.
Arguably one of Jim Carrey's best performances.
Yep.
So what are the new explanations for it then, apart from demonic possession or your blood being too hot? Obviously a fire with samba and mamba.
Well, investigators in the 20th century suggested that the afflicted might have consumed bread made from rye flour, contaminated with a fungal disease ergot or ergo,
Okay, I've heard of that.
which is known to produce convulsions.
Yeah, they used to use it back in the very, very day, back in the dark ages. Like ergo was a thing they used to balk children with. It was like a drug, a natural drug, a fungus, and then they would give it to people who were not meant to be pregnant.
Ah.
So, but obviously it was ordered quite a long dose. The person giving you the dose should ideally know what they're doing, so they'd be like a druid or a wise woman or something.
Yeah, in this case it was a bit of a overdose, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
If they do the funky chicken and they can't help it, it's like,
yeah. Oh, you just imagine if you're doing the funky chicken and you die and rigor mortis kicks in and you're just frozen in that position. You're stuck on the floor, just frozen with the chicken wings. You don't want that.
Well, that's just one theory. Another one is that from American sociologist Robert Bartholomew, he posits that the dancers were adherents of heretical sects. Sects. That's quite difficult to say, isn't it? Dancing to attract divine favour.
It's a bit much when you're fucking collapsing from exhaustion, though, isn't it?
Wow, religious nutters.
I suppose the Catholic Church was against dancing, was it? Oh, I've just realised what this is, Mike.
What?
It's Footloose in medieval Strasbourg. Kevin Bacon rocks up, starts dancing, gets the whole town dancing. All of a sudden, yeah, that's it. It's got to be it.
Well, the most widely accepted theory was that of American medical historian John Waller, who laid out in several papers his reason for believing the dancing plague was a form of mass psychogenic disorder.
Probably go with that.
They're all on mushrooms.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that they were at the dodgy bread and all got high as shit and started convulsing.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Well, they're the possible theories.
Yeah. Shawn, you going to go for it?
Seems like a lot for it to go on for a week, though, just from bread.
2 months, apparently.
Months. Maybe it only lasted a few days and everyone was just like, when do we stop now? We just keep going. Just our lives now.
No one wanted to be the first to stop.
Yeah.
Maybe the one woman was like off her tits on ergot and everyone else thought, fuck it. And then it became psychosemantic or whatever it is.
Could have been a mixture of a couple of them.
Yeah, or it could have been aliens.
It's always fucking aliens with you, innit?
Well, I haven't got an alien story this week. So I thought I'd throw it in.
Go on then, what's your next story then?
The Uss Stein Monster. In 1978, the Uss Stein, a United States Navy Knox class destroyer escort, was running special operations in the Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Acapulco and Ecuador. Hey, they were going loco down in Acapulco. All them sailors on shore leave in Acapulco. Oh.
It's the best place to go loco, Ben.
That's what I hear. So the song says. Anyway, it encountered something extremely large and entirely unseen in the water. Completely out of nowhere, the ship began to experience several severe technical issues and suffered the eventual failure of its sonar system. Sonar basically uses sound waves to detect stuff under the water, like underwater radar. That problem required them to return to California, because if you've got no sonar, you're pretty much blind. Upon arrival, the ship was dry docked at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard, and maintenance teams went to work to repair the damage of the system. As the teams approached the sonar dome, they took notice of extreme visible damage to the rubber coating that was wrapped around the dome itself. Over 8% of the surface was covered in deep cuts, gashes and scrapes. Within the deepest of these cuts, the repair team discovered large curved hooks that were frighteningly similar to the kind of hooks found within the suction cups of large squid. The only problem, though, was that these hooks were almost 5 times larger than any known squid.
Oh.
It's got to be the Kraken.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Unleash the Kraken!
It's got to be.
Estimating the size of the squid from the hooks, they reckoned it had to be upwards of 150 feet, which is 45.72 meters long. The largest squid known to man only grows up to 46 feet, or 14 meters.
The important bit there is known to man.
Well, this is it. This is it. Who can say? Could be. I mean, the ocean is huge. We know more about the moon than we do our own ocean.
Yeah.
So there's every chance the Kraken is trotting about.
I hope so.
Down there. Yeah, because I want to shout Unleash the Kraken at the right opportunity. Usually just before I make love.
Is that what you say or what she said?
That's what I say.
Oh, okay.
I sort of say, shout Unleash the Kraken and just jump on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's never been encountered again, or hasn't been encountered since. That they think that in the article they seem to think that the name monumental squid would fit nicely rather than giant squid. Fuck off huge squid I would also go for. Metric fuck ton of calamari. Something like that. I mean, they're lucky really that they never, this giant squid's attacking them, so therefore it's got all its tentacles wrapped around the hull of the ship. They're open fire, man. They could have fed the Navy for weeks. And they'd have been cooked, high explosive shells. But cooked very nicely. You missed a trick, I think, personally.
Oh, I don't know. I've only had squid once and I wasn't impressed.
I've never eaten it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not nice.
No.
It's pretty gross.
It is, isn't it, man?
squid.
It's got no taste. It's like a rubbery texture.
I don't eat animals I like.
So would it have been big enough to have dragged them down then?
Well, maybe. It doesn't say how heavy the ship was, actually, but being a destroyer, it's probably got to be about 20,000 tons, something like that. So it's no small object. That's what she said.
Hey.
God, the sex puns are coming on thick and fast this week.
Sex tape.
No.
Well, we are 3 months into lockdown now.
Well, yeah. I am. When I emerge from lockdown, I will be 3.5 metric tons of raw sexual aggression. Lockdown has not been kind to my waistline. Still, that's what happens when the sun's out. Gotta have a beer, haven't you?
That is a conundrum.
Yeah. Do you want to do your next one there, Mike?
Okay. Next one. The horror of the hairy hands.
Oh my God. Hairy hands, eh? Okay.
And it's not your Uncle Pete.
Yeah, always them hairy hands always sneaking in. Yeah. Go on then, Mike. Tell us about these hairy hands and the horror that they inflict.
Well, the highway from Princetown to Two Bridges on Dartmoor passes through one of the remotest and eeriest stretches of the moor.
Is that the place where, like, the locals say, don't go on the moor at night?
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
It was here that a spate of mysterious deaths occurred. The first in 1921, when a doctor from the nearby prison suddenly swerved on his motorbike and was killed instantly just past a small bridge that crosses the East Dart River. Strange reports followed, motorcyclists complaining about being struck, and a farmer who nearly crashed his tractor after being attacked by, quote, some kind of wild clawing beast.
So it's a werewolf. There's a werewolf as well as hairy hands.
Well, only the hands have ever been identified.
What? Did they have a police line-up, did they? Excuse me, sir, have you seen these hands? Can you pick out which pair they are? All right then, okay, so anyone else been killed by them, or?
Yeah, there was an account by a young army officer that really got people talking. Having got lost during a training exercise in a sudden thick fog, he was relieved to pick up the road to Princetown. When he arrived at the small bridge at the bottom of the hill, he spoke of feeling an icy chill and felt this sudden urge to run.
That's
it was then. Yeah. Take his clothes off and run, yeah. It was then that he felt a pair of huge, powerful hands around his neck, crushing his windpipe with
That's
tremendous
the gay
force.
prostitute who lives under the bridge.
In his struggle, he fell from the bridge into the freezing water, and it was only then, in the dark, thrashing torrent, that he felt the giant hands relent.
Well, so it's pushed him off the bridge, it's choking him, he's drowning, and then the hands just go, all right. And then the hands just went, oh, there we go, don't do drowning, just strangle him.
Probably cold, so it swam away.
Oh, yeah, well, it got hypothermia as well.
Yeah.
But the most frightening account came from a couple of newlyweds touring Dartmoor on a caravan holiday.
Well, first of all, they're on a caravan holiday in Dartmoor, so they deserve everything they get. On a honeymoon, nonetheless.
That was probably the exciting thing that happened to them.
Yeah. If the bands are rocking, don't come knocking, eh?
When their vehicle broke down, the husband decided to follow the signs to Princetown by torchlight and told his wife to stay in the car and lock the door, and under no circumstances should she open it. They had parked just before the small stone bridge that crossed the river. Wrapped up under blankets, she was comforting herself with the thought of a returning husband when she heard a heavy thump on the roof of the car.
Comforting herself while wrapped in heavy blankets.
Waiting for him to return.
Waiting for him to return. Was she just getting warmed up, do you think?
I think so. She frantically fumbled for a torch and shined it towards the passenger side window, where she was met with a terrifying sight. A pair of huge, hairy hands were clawing at the glass. Being a woman of faith, she had the presence of mind to draw a cross on the inside of the misty window, and much to her relief, the hairy hands retreated and vanished into the night.
Why was the window misty?
Yeah.
Sounds like you caught her masturbating.
Yeah, sounds like
she panicked.
It's just a dogger with hairy knuckles, isn't it?
I think they just actually broke down in the middle of Dartmoor's premier dogging site.
Yeah. She's flicking her beam, waiting for her husband to come back.
Some bloke just leans against the window. Oh, you're right there, love. Oh, turn your inside light on. And, then she's frightened him off.
Well, her husband found her 3 hours later, huddled and tearful in the footwell and unable to speak coherently. All she could do was point to the huge handprints on the outside of the frosty window.
Well, it's at least had an eventful honeymoon. It was a night they'll never forget. He's probably just thinking, well, I'm not getting any now, am I?
No, definitely not.
No.
Sounds like she already got some, to be fair.
Hey.
Those big hairy knuckles, eh?
Don't worry, I warded him off.
Yeah, I put a cross on the window and everything.
I didn't let him in. I'm a good Christian woman.
Well, I'm always down for a bit of local, not local, a bit of British ghost stories because they're usually a bit more interesting. I like that one. Hairy hands just floating around attacking people. I'd love to know whose they are. One day we've got to go on a road trip to all these places.
Yeah.
But everyone focuses on his hands.
Oh,
Just his hands.
it could be his massive hands.
Do you think he's walking around with those giant Chewbacca hands?
Oh, possibly, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just a bloke dressed as Chewbacca. Like, he's doing cosplay. Wandering around the mall. Hoping someone will join him.
Trying to find his way to the Star Wars convention.
Always trying to find Han.
Yeah.
Well, I'm down for it. I want to go to this place now and see what happens.
It's not going to wank you off, Ben.
No. In that case, I'm not interested.
Well, it might.
I'm not interested now. It's gonna choke me. It has at least have the decency to give me a reach around. It's just common courtesy.
The least he can do.
It's the least he can do.
Just manners, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're helping him get off.
Yeah, exactly. Hairy hands, then.
Yeah.
When we were trying to call you earlier, you weren't answering. We tried calling like 2 or 3 times, and we were starting to think maybe you had disappeared. Think a bit more about those hairy hands.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It could be Wolverine.
Could be.
Could be.
Just running around choking people. They give them reach arounds, apparently.
Hey, goddamn Hugh Jackman.
Could be worse.
I ain't letting him anywhere near me cock with them fucking spikes. No way.
Yeah, but your penis is another dimension anyway.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Anywhere near me stump now.
Oh, should I go to my last one then?
I don't even want to ask questions about that.
What, the multiverse is another dimension?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the multiverse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
He sent it there because of crotch goblins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out for those crotch goblins.
You have.
You definitely have to, mate. It's,
Yeah.
fucking nightmare.
Just for fear of the safety of his own penis, he sent it to the multiverse.
Where it would be safe,
Yeah.
even from himself.
Yeah. Now it's travelling around saving universes and shit like that. It's got a little cape and everything.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's like the ace swimmer.
What's its superhero name?
It's just a cock.
Super cock,
Captain
obviously.
Cock.
Captain Cock.
Captain Cock. There you go. Oh.
Enough about my penis. Move on.
All right, okay.
Well, that's Ben's favourite subject.
Oh! He's only been on the air for like 40 minutes. He's already ripping me.
Yeah, he's done you. He's done you there.
I'm still waiting to find out how much I'm getting paid for this.
Talk about that later.
I'll make a change from you talking about his penis.
Right, I will tell you all now. We'll go back to 1940. Right? Operation Cone of Power.
That's what you should call his penis.
Yeah. So I'm going to start calling mine. When British witches attacked Adolf Hitler.
Right.
It was the summer of 1940, just weeks after a narrow escape by the British armies at Dunkirk, and the United Kingdom was braced for the onslaught to a threatened German invasion. On the nation's south coast, many areas of invasion from the sea, towns and villages are transformed by sandbags, barricades and barbed wire into coastal redoubts where volunteers kept watch on the sea and the sky. The Battle of Britain was yet to reach its peak, but the drone of enemy planes could be heard flying overhead. In the town of Highcliffe-on-Sea, a secretive group of witches and spiritual seekers resolved to do what they could to defend their country. It's said they arranged to meet in an ancient forest before midnight on August the 1st, 1940, the eve of Lammas Day, a harvest festival and one of the greatest sabbats of the neo-pagan religion known as Wicca.
It sounds like a really bad script of like a B movie, doesn't it?
Sounds like a shit version of Hellboy.
No.
Like witches versus Hitler or something.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I would as well. It sounds terrible, but I'd watch it.
You've seen Iron Sky. Can't get much
true.
worse than that.
That's true.
Still, I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but I love it. They are said to have staged a magical assault on the mind of Adolf Hitler in distant Berlin by means of a ritual that became known by the mock military codename Operation Cone of Power.
I can't take that seriously now.
No. Apparently, not the first time magic has been used to stave off invasion of the British Isles.
All right, okay. What other occasions were they?
The first in 1588, when the Spanish Armada became discouraged after being scattered by storms. And then in 1805, when Napoleon called off his planned invasion of England.
So it was bad weather, and somebody was just like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
That was definitely me.
Yeah.
I did that.
Well, you know, it's like when there's a hurricane on the way to America, and some evangelical preacher goes out and starts praying.
Yeah.
And he's like, turn away, God come, and then it actually does just turn away through, because it does. That's what hurricanes do, and no one can predict what they're going to do. Then they claim credit.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Brag, though, isn't it?
It's a big brag. I command the weather. I like the fact that Francis Drake is knocking around with a group of sea witches at a headland called Devil's Point and attacking the Spanish ships with magical storms. That's fucking ace. And another group of English witches cast spells to deter Napoleon. Nothing to do with the Battle of Trafalgar, where he lost his navy, therefore couldn't invade. But no, all witchcraft.
What did they do to stop him?
Who? The witches?
Yeah.
Stop Hitler?
No, Napoleon.
Oh, they just sort of cast spells on him to deter him from invading.
Why didn't they just attack him with weather like the other ones?
Well, they hadn't invaded yet.
Okay. If I had weapon, it's my main weapon was attacking them with weather. I'd just be throwing storms at everyone.
Well, yeah.
They performed a preemptive strike.
Well, yeah, just destroy all the landing barges.
Just make all the weather outside of the country just constant storms, so no one could get in.
Protect the entire country with some kind of storm front.
Yeah.
Then every ship would have to have a witch on board to let the returning ships in.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just attack them with giant waves as well.
Just tsunami the fuck out of France.
Yeah. Why is it always France? It's always France.
Napoleon was from France.
It's always
technically Corsica, but you know, he was in charge.
Yeah.
Interesting fact about Napoleon's planned invasion of England. He was going to do it by land, he was going to do it by sea, air, and tunnel.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were going to basically get a load of hot air balloons, fill the baskets with soldiers, fly them over, land with ships, the traditional way, and also he was planning to dig the first Channel tunnel.
Fair play.
Yeah, he's nothing if not ambitious. So, witches did cast spells to stop Hitler landing after France fell. It was a guy called Gerard B. Gardner who effectively wrote the book on Wicca in 1954. They met, raised the great cone of power, and directed the thought at Hitler's brain. You cannot cross the sea. Just as their great-grandfathers had done to Napoleon and their remoter forefathers had done to the Spanish Armada.
So they say.
Yeah. Garner says, I'm not saying they stopped Hitler. All I'm saying is I saw a very interesting ceremony performed with the intention of putting a certain idea into his mind. And though all the invasion barges were ready, the fact was that Hitler never tried to come. Well, I can think of two more reasons for that. The Battle of Britain, the fact that you can't invade a country with air supremacy, so once you haven't wiped out the RAF, you can't invade. And the fact that, Britain did have the Royal Navy, which was the largest in the world at the time.
Yeah.
Nah, it's definitely the witches.
Definitely the witches.
Definitely.
You're going for witches.
Yeah, definitely. That cone of power.
Yeah, I do like that.
Behold my cone of power.
You never saw that in Harry Potter, did you?
You did it the one I watched.
Scared Hitler away, intimidated him. Yeah, that's a big cone of power. That is.
They only had one ball.
Yeah. Well, obviously that's a very big cone.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you reckon?
A lot of bollocks again, isn't it?
Oh, I like the idea of it.
I want to make it into a movie.
I love the idea that these old legends, like about Britain being invaded. It's like if you go, Drake's drum, for example. You ever heard the tale of that?
No, I haven't actually.
Francis Drake had this. It's one of Drake's drums from on board the ship. Obviously, the phrase "beat to quarters" there's nothing to do with masturbating. It's just to do with banging a drum and telling everyone something's about to happen. Apparently, that drum, if England was ever to be invaded again, then he banged the drum and Drake will turn up and scour the enemy from the seas.
Right, has anyone ever seen him turn up?
No, I don't know if they've ever beat the drum, but I really like the idea that a bunch of drunk Navy officers in 1940 broke into the museum and banged the drum to see if anything had happened. I don't know if that ever happened. I'd do it.
You'd be tempted, wouldn't you? You'd be tempted.
Would, yeah. Oh, we could solve this all in one problem. Hang on, just bang this drum. Yeah. So that's the cone of power. Did it stop Hitler?
Maybe.
Though, it was apparently. Hang on. I can throw a returning friend into this.
Go on then.
Mr. Crowley. Da-na-na. Apparently did Operation Mistletoe, which was a ritual he did in the Ashdown Forest in early 1941 with a detachment of Canadian soldiers dressed in wizard robes and a dummy in Nazi uniform seated on a throne. His son said that, his illegitimate son, Amadou Crowley. He witnessed that as a boy, apparently.
I bet he's scarred for life, isn't he, that kid? Jesus.
Why would you take your kid along on that trip?
Because Crowley didn't give two fucks. I'll guarantee you there was a lot of heavy anal sex going on too.
Yeah, sounds it.
But he was a champion power bottom, Crowley.
Oh.
He possibly had the world's finest anus. So I'm told. Apparently,
Crowley did extensive research.
Well, we did do an episode on him.
He could even
on Crowley.
Just Crowley, not his ass.
Well, his ass came into it a lot.
I bet he could receive the cone of power.
I bet that's Mike. That's all he ever did every night. Amadou Crowley claimed that one result of his father's magical attack was the bizarre episode in 1941. When the Nazi deputy leader Rudolf Hess made an unexpected solo flight over the North Sea, bailing out by parachute because he'd lost his way and run out of fuel. He made his journey in the misguided belief he could single-handedly convince the British to make peace, but he ended up in prison till he died in 1987.
Fucking mental. I didn't know about that until recently.
What, Rudolf Hess?
Yeah, what a maniac.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't quite go the way he wanted, did it?
No, but to have the sheer ego to think, well, I'm going to go single-handedly to Britain, bail out, get purposely captured, and then say, right, let's make peace, eh? Let's negotiate something. And they're just going to be like, well, who the fuck? Yeah, you're number two, mate.
He's got that big ball energy.
He has got big ball energy. I like the fact that Crowley did it. I like that Crowley was involved. And they were doing all this weird occult shit in British intelligence because the Nazis had an occult thing, didn't they? So
yeah.
Oh, they've got that, so we need one. Hence Hellboy started. Yeah. Well, do you want to do your last one, Mike?
Yeah, man. Okay. Mother Teresa was a Cold War CIA agent.
You mean apart from being a fake? And not being as saintly as everyone said? Cold War CIA agent, eh?
Apparently.
And what did she bring to the table? The ability to put a tea towel on her head?
Apparently she was used to stop India falling under the influence of the USSR.
Right. What, by garroting KGB operatives?
Yeah.
Actually, I'd pay to see that. Mother Teresa as a CIA hitman.
Yeah. That's a film.
That's the movie.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to write these. Copyright us. Operation Cone of Power and Mother Teresa Hitman.
Cone of Power Productions.
Ooh. That could be my porn company's name.
Yeah.
Cone of Power, Mike. That's what it's going to be called.
Yeah. I've just thought of a film for this name for this Mother Teresa film.
Go on then.
Octogenarian Pussy.
Oh, actually, she died recently, didn't she? R.I.P. to her. R.I.P.D. to her.
Yeah. Well, 1997 she died.
Who, Mother Teresa?
Yeah.
I was on about the woman that played Octopussy.
Oh, right.
I can't remember her name now. It's escaped me.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I want to see it. I want to see Octogenarian Pussy. That's amazing. I love it. Go on, Mike, tell us about how she was running around Calcutta.
Well, apparently she's working
with the KGB.
She was working for US intelligence, using her influence to meet with USSR leaders and send covert messages back to officials in the US. Conspiracy theorist Jess McClintock said, "My theory behind Mother Teresa's role as a spy was having her as an influence working for the people stopped India from becoming a stronghold for Russia during the Cold War."
Wow. Well, I suppose if the Russians had got a hold of India, they sided with the USSR, that would be a lot of people they had on their side.
Yeah. But it's a bit outlandish, isn't it?
What, you mean more outlandish than the Cone of Power or the hairy hands or a giant squid attacking ships?
All those seem like legitimate things to me. All those seem like they could have happened.
I like it. I don't like the idea of Mother Teresa as a secret agent. I don't like that.
Apparently in 2015, a Freedom of Information request sent to the US government asking for records on Mother Teresa was rejected by the NSA on the grounds that the information was classified as top secret.
Or they just didn't have anything.
Following a subsequent request in 2018 asking for a mandatory declassification review, the documents were released but were heavily redacted, containing only one paragraph of information. So they got something.
She was under witness protection.
Ah.
And that's why.
I don't get why they release stuff and then just redact near enough like 99% of it.
Maybe she was part of the mafia.
Ooh.
And they had to put her under witness protection.
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't release anything.
Oh, her name wasn't Mother Teresa. It was like something Italian.
Yeah.
And they sent it to India as protection. Yeah. Go and be a nun.
She thought she had to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah.
Try and right all the wrongs she'd done.
Yeah. Be a Cold War warrior.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. As long as there's no sex scenes in that movie. I don't want to see that.
It's called Octogenarian Pussy, there probably is.
Oh, man. But who's going to be banging her?
Gorbachev.
Gorbachev. So we meet again, Mother Teresa. Actually, Putin probably would have been head of the KGB at that point.
Yeah, he put it in it.
Putin does seem like the type to get all the bitches, to be fair.
Yeah. And he's Russia's greatest love machine. I mean, guy's riding around on a bear.
Yeah. He just turns up to a date and just gives them a picture of him just shirtless.
This is what you have to look forward to later.
Each time he's riding a different animal. There's Putin on a tiger. There's Putin on a horse.
I want to see Tiger King, but with Putin.
That would be amazing.
Fucking hell. Oh, is that... So is she a Cold War warrior? What do you reckon, Mike?
I didn't think so, but then the fact that they redacted all the information, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah? Well, I'd pay to see it as a movie.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a bit dull, although you could hide a submachine gun underneath those robes.
Snub-nosed Uzi.
Yeah, she could hide a snub-nosed Uzi underneath those robes. But they go. Oh man, I've just got a scene. She goes into the KGB, the Russian embassy, where the KGB are based. Yeah, and
Yep.
it's like the end bit of the Matrix. She goes to the metal detector, and it all goes beep, 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 it goes off. And
Did she do the power slide?
yeah, and then they're like, oh, can you step to the side, please? Put your stuff, and she just like opens the robe up, and she's got like another set of robes underneath, but she is literally festooned with weapons. What do you reckon?
Oh, sounds good, man. I'd pay to see it.
Fucking brilliant.
And if you get a muff shot, then I'm definitely in. Basic instinct.
His lockdown been that lonely that you wait to look at Mother Teresa's straggly grey-haired muff.
Yeah, I want to glance at a growler.
Oh man. On that note, on that bombshell,
I'm off for a wank. No, I'm not.
You sure?
We'll do fucked up facts instead. I might have a wank later.
Okay, well, fair enough. Should we do some fucked up facts then?
Yeah, can we have the jingle?
Facts. Fucked up facts.
In the mid-1970s, Sweden sold North Korea 1,000 Volvos. But North Korea has never paid for them, making this the biggest car theft in human history.
Oh, man. You can't trust Kim Jong-un, can you?
Well, the Swedish government continues to send twice yearly invoices to Pyongyang for £200 million.
Why didn't... Surely the way it should work is like you send us the money, we'll send you the Volvos.
Well,
isn't that how
obviously
it's
not.
not like, oh, well, here's your Volvos. No, we're not paying.
I wonder if when they send the receipts, if they just send IOUs back.
Send some uranium.
Yeah.
Here's a lock of Kim Jong-un's hair.
We haven't got the money, but would you be willing to trade?
They just send a signed photo of Kim Jong-un. Here you go. That's worth it.
And Putin, they're like, yeah, they keep sending us these.
Yeah.
So we're just passing them on to you. Just signed autographs of Putin. He sends them to everyone.
I've never had one.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got a few.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Biggest star theft in history. Wow.
Yep, Pat, mate. 9 in 10 people report phantom phone syndrome. Feeling your smartphone vibrate in your pocket when it isn't.
Happens all the time.
I've had that as well,
Yeah, I've had that.
Happens all the time. I like to put it in my nerve endings are just shot.
It's because we're being brainwashed by our own phones.
So it's a possibility.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you want to know which country consumes the most tea per person?
Well, I'm going to guess the obvious answer is Britain, isn't it?
Yeah, you're being correct. That's UK is third.
Wow.
Anyone has a guess? Not China, no.
They've got all the tea after all. India.
Nope.
Is it Japan?
Nope.
Damn.
Ooh, Mexico.
It's a European country, I'll give you that.
All right.
Just European. It's only just a European country.
Only just become, or?
No, well, it's half in Europe, half in Asia.
Turkey, half of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Turkey.
Ah. Turkey, eh?
Know a little bit.
3.1 kilograms per person per year.
Wow.
Yeah, they like selling like flavoured teas.
Yeah, they
no
do,
good.
yeah. Ireland is second with 2.2.
Wow.
And UK third, 1.9.
So the thing the Brits are most famous for, we're not even good at.
Nope.
Yeah, we're pretty crap at everything we're famous for. Then.
Oh, yeah. True.
We don't do very well with football, to be fair.
Hey,
Either.
you leave the football team alone. They're all right now.
Not great, but they're all right.
They're all right. They try.
They get by.
According to a 2016 study, dogs judge people who refuse to help their owners.
I can see that. Dogs are excellent judges of character. You know, it's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can go with that. They'll also do anything for a sausage. Not anything.
I was going to say, that sounded wrong.
They'll also do anything for food. My dog, Max, would. He'd be like, you're not helping him, but you're also giving me food, so I don't care.
If he dies, he dies.
Pretty much.
Kaiser Wilhelm II lost a valuable arms contract by slapping the King of Bulgaria on the bottom.
Wow. So the King of Bulgaria went, nah, you're all right, we're not in for that. I'm not down for that, Kaiser.
It's a proper power move, that is.
Isn't it? I suppose if I just slap on the arse, because I mean, Kaiser Wilhelm had the German Empire, and Greater Germany at the time. Most of Central Europe was German and Austro-Hungarian. So, you know, he's entitled to slap the King of Bulgaria on the arse, isn't he? So he didn't call him Sweetie after. I think my style.
Apparently, piranhas bark.
All right.
That's what it says.
I don't intend to get close enough to disprove that or not.
Yeah.
Pet piranha, now.
No, because he's barking all the fucking time.
Does the neighbour shut that piranha?
Yeah, the fucking piranha's been barking all night. I know I can't shut it up. It wants blood.
Every train in Tokyo plays a unique melody as it pulls into the station.
Oh, that's nice.
Recognise your train then, wouldn't you? You can hear the melody.
Ah. They're all right with these trains, the Japanese, aren't they? Always on time, playing those songs. I've always fancied using that Japanese toilet that plays a tune when you flush it. Makes a little rainbow hologram in the bowl. Well, they might give us a couple more.
Outdoor cats tend to be far-sighted. Indoor cats tend to be near-sighted.
All right, so where does that put your cat who does both?
20/20 vision, probably.
Oh, fair enough. So if I have a cat, basically do one or the other with it.
Yeah. In Sweden, the government can reject child names it deems inappropriate.
I like it. Wouldn't be so many little fucking Chardonnays and Keanu's trotting around, would there?
It's a bit of an infringement on your rights, though, isn't it? Surely.
Well, no, you want to call your kid a stupid name. It's not fair on the kid, is it?
Well, to be fair, in 1996, a Swedish couple attempted to name their child BRF/LLCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCC Fucking hell.
So I think in that scenario, it's perfectly justifiable.
If you scan its arse, does something come from Amazon? You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
I'm sorry, that's bollocks. So it's fine. Yeah, I agree. You can't name your kid that. Think of the poor little guy or girl.
Yeah, you might have a point there.
Look up David Bowie. He called his son Zowie. You know, Zowie Bowie. Wow. Didn't Frank Zappa call his kid Moon Unit?
Fucking hell, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I think it's justified.
All right, you want a final fact?
One final fact.
Genghis Khan inadvertently removed 700 million tons of carbon from the atmosphere, equivalent to a year's worth of global petrol use today, as the settlements he decimated during his military campaigns returned to being carbon-absorbing forest.
So what we need to do is get him back.
Yeah, to slaughter the Huns. Oh.
Just let him loose across the steppes of Asia into Russia. I think they got as far as, I don't know if it was Genghis or not, but they definitely got as far as Eastern Europe, sort of borders of Germany. Impressive. He did have a lot of energy to burn, did Genghis? He was the original guy with energy. Aren't we all related to him somehow?
Yeah,
He
apparently.
shagged that much.
Yeah, something like.
It's stupid.
That's impressive, isn't it? I better get started. That's the life I want, sort of a conqueror, shagger. Have a harem. Be great. Be awesome.
Have 2,000 sons.
Yeah?
Go to war in your name.
Yeah, you just like to sit back and shag them. Pumping out more sons and daughters. Just take their place as they fall. Till only one remains. The heir.
Then they can inherit everything.
Yep.
But you won't have anything because you're too busy fucking old.
Yeah, the empire's falling apart. So I'm too busy fucking, but
That's why he didn't manage to conquer the world.
Yeah.
He was too busy.
I'm amazed he fit it all in as it was. I mean,
what's the name of his sex tape?
Yeah.
Nah. I think he's got the cone of power.
Yeah.
He must have to have had that many descendants.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Right, shall we call that an episode then?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks for listening. I've been Ben. Don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
Unless it's a tiger cult.
Unless it's a tiger cult.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
You got to say something there. You got to think of this line on the spot.
That's probably on the spot. I can't think of anything cool. I can't think of anything.
Just say your name and thanks for listening.
I'm sure. Thanks for listening. See, that just sounds lame compared to. It's like, okay, bye.
They'll probably never hear you again.
You never know. I could guess.
Oh, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome anytime.
I think I did a good part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did very well.
Thanks.
We applaud you. You get a cutting through the ball in a post through the pocket. It's half round of applause.
I was expecting a standing ovation, to be fair.
Sorry, that's the best we get.
Okay.
It's the best we give on the show. Okay. Thanks for listening.